So, good morning, friends. In our last lecture, we have started our last chapter, that is nothing but the air distribution system. And part A of this chapter is completely related with the duct. So, first of all, we have seen what is the necessity to provide the duct, then what is the classification of the duct, then what are the materials which are used for manufacturing of the duct. After that, we have seen what are the shape in which that ducts are made up, and after that we have seen the pressure losses, or before that we have seen what are the different types of pressures which that duct is carrying. So first one is the static pressure, second one is the dynamic pressure, and addition of static pressure and dynamic pressure will be called as the total pressure. So whenever any air or conditioning air will be passing from one location to another location, so that conditioning air will experience the losses in the duct. So that losses in the duct will be of mainly two types. First one will be called as the major losses. Second one will be called as the minor losses. Out of that, whatever major losses in the duct will be there, those major losses in the duct will takes place mainly because of the friction. So whenever the conditioning air is passing from one location to the another location, because of friction between air and that duct material, as well as because of the friction between any two air particle, whatever losses in the pressure will take place, that will be called as the frictional losses, and that will be the major losses inside the duct. And along with frictional losses, there will be the minor losses that will be called as the velocity losses or dynamic losses. So whatever velocity losses or dynamic losses will be there, those velocity losses or dynamic losses will mainly occur because of the change in velocity. So that change in velocity may be either in the direction or in magnitude. So when there will be the change in velocity, so whenever we are changing the cross-sectional area, whenever we are having the variable cross-section area, at that variable cross-section area, because of varying the cross-section area or because of varying the area, the velocity of the air will goes on changing. And whenever we are changing the direction, whenever we are changing the direction of that flow of the air through the duct, at that time also there will be the change in velocity. So whatever losses will occur because of change in velocity, either in magnitude or in direction, those losses will be called as the dynamic losses or velocity losses. And the losses which will occur because of the friction, that will be called as the frictional losses. So now we have to see the frictional losses which are occurring inside the duct, or we have to see the derivation for the frictional losses which are occurring in the duct. But before proceeding towards the frictional losses which are occurring inside the duct, first of all, we should know the continuity equation and Bernoulli's theorem. Already we have seen the continuity equation and Bernoulli's theorem for the flow through the pipe. So here also, that duct is nothing but one closed conduct, and through that closed conduct, that fluid is passing. Here only fluid is air, and in that flow through pipe, the fluid was the liquid. So that is the only difference. So here, whatever continuity equation which was applicable for the flow through pipe, the same continuity equation will be applicable for the flow of air through the duct, as well as Bernoulli's theorem will be applicable. Same Bernoulli's theorem will be applicable here. So we'll revise that thing, the continuity equation and Bernoulli's theorem. So first of all, we'll see the continuity equation. Continuity equation. So for derivation of this continuity equation, we'll consider the one variable cross-sectional area duct. Suppose we are having one variable cross-section area duct. This is a variable cross-section area duct. Suppose this has an axis, and through this duct, suppose air is passing, conditioning air is passing. So at this location, if I'm going to consider, suppose conditioning air is passing from this direction to this direction. Here, if I'm going to consider this as the cross-section area 1, 1. This has a cross section area 1 1, and at this location this has a cross section area 2 2. Now whatever air is passing through this duct, suppose that air is having the density as a rho 1, then whatever cross section area of the duct will be there at section 1 1. Suppose that cross section area is nothing but A1, and whatever velocity of the air which is passing through that section 1 1, suppose velocity of the air passing through the section 1 1 is nothing but V1. In the similar manner, if you will consider the density of the air at section 2 2, suppose that density as a rho 2, velocity of the air is nothing but P2, and cross section area, suppose that cross section area is nothing but A2, velocity is nothing but P2. Then according to continuity equation, so continuity equation is based on the principle of conservation of mass. Continuity equation is based on principle of conservation of mass. So according to continuity equation, the mass flow rate of the air, according to the continuity equation, the mass flow rate of the air passing through section 1 1 will have the same value as that of mass flow rate of the air which is passing through the section 2. So mass flow rate through section 1 1, mass flow rate at section 1 1 is equal to mass flow rate at section 2 2. Section 1 1 is equal to mass flow rate at section 2 2. Now what is meant by mass flow rate? So here mass flow rate is nothing but, what is meant by mass flow rate? Here mass flow rate m dot is nothing but the product of area into discharge. Product of density of the air into discharge, rho 1 into Q1. So here according to continuity equation, mass flow rate at section 1 1, so mass flow rate is nothing but rho into Q, whereas here instead of 1 I'll say that rho into Q, because if you see the unit of both the cases, here unit is nothing but the mass flow rate will be given in terms of kg per second. Mass flow rate will be provided in terms of kg per unit time, kg per second. Density is nothing but kg per meter cube, kg per meter cube. And discharge will be provided in terms of meter cube per second. Volume flow rate, meter cube per second. So here meter cube and this meter cube will get cancelled. So mass flow rate will be given by equation m dot is equal to rho into Q, whereas rho is nothing but density of air, Q is nothing but discharge. So according to continuity equation, suppose this is the statement of continuity equation. So according to continuity equation, as mass flow rate at section 1 1 is equal to mass flow rate at section 2 2. That's why what will become rho 1 Q1. Mass flow rate at section 1 1 will be equal to rho 1 into Q1, whereas rho 1 is nothing but density at section 1 1, Q1 is nothing but discharge or flow rate of the air passing through section 1 1, is equal to rho 2 Q2, is equal to rho 2 into Q2. As we are knowing that here air is a as we are knowing that Q is nothing but discharge is given by equation area into velocity. Discharge is given by equation area into velocity. So here I can write this equation as a, instead of Q1 I can write it as a A1 into V1, whereas A1 is nothing but area at section 1 1, V1 is nothing but velocity at section 1 1. So rho 1 into Q1 will become as a A1 into V1. So rho 1 A1 V1, rho 1 A1 V1 will be equal to, instead of Q2 I can write as a rho 2 A2 into V2, rho 2 A2 into V2. Rho 2 A2 into V2. So here if I am going to consider that fluid as an incompressible fluid, then for incompressible fluid the equation will be written as a A1 P1 is equal to A2 V2. A1 P1 is equal to A2 V2. But as conditioning air will be compressible in nature. That's why for conditioning air, the equation will be applicable. Continuity equation which will be applicable will be rho 1 A1 P1 is equal to rho 2 A2 P2. So this will be called as a continuity equation which is applicable for the conditioning air passing through the variable cross section area duct. So likewise, we have to derive the Bernoulli's theorem also. So here we'll derive the Bernoulli's theorem. So whatever Bernoulli's theorem is there, so that Bernoulli's theorem is based on the principle of conservation of energy. Principle of conservation of energy, and according to Bernoulli's theorem. So here I will write this as the Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's equation or Bernoulli's theorem. So for derivation of Bernoulli's equation or Bernoulli's theorem, if I'm going to consider this as a reference line, and vertical distance of axis from the reference line is equal to Z1, this at section 1 as a Z1, and vertical distance of axis from the reference line at section 2 as a Z2. Then according to Bernoulli's theorem, total energy at section 1 is equal to total energy at section 2. Total energy at section 1 according to Bernoulli's theorem, total energy at section 1 is equal to total energy at section 2. So here if I want to calculate the total energy at section 1, so total energy will be written as a P1 upon rho g, or in general, according to Bernoulli's theorem or Bernoulli's equation, total energy at any point in the variable cross section area pipe will remains constant. So P upon rho g plus P square upon twice g, twice g plus z is equal to constant. So here if we will apply this Bernoulli's theorem at section 1 and section 2. So before applying this Bernoulli's theorem at section 1 and section 2, here if I will do the modification in this Bernoulli's theorem, that means if I'm going to multiply this right hand side and left hand side of this Bernoulli's theorem by term called as the rho g. So here P into rho g divided by rho g. So that rho g will get cancelled. So here I will get only P plus P square into rho g divided by twice g. So here g and g will get cancelled, plus z into rho g, or z into rho g, or rho g z. So here rho is nothing but the density of the air. G is nothing but the gravitational acceleration. So if I am considering the air, then for air the value of rho will be constant. Value of rho is nothing but density of air, and value of density of air is nothing but 1.2 kg per meter cube. 1.2 kg per meter cube. This is the value of rho for air. So value of rho is constant. G is also constant. G is nothing but gravitational acceleration. Value of G is nothing but 9.81 meter per second square. G, gravitational acceleration 9.81 meter per second square. So here rho g term is the constant term. So whenever I am going to multiply that constant by constant, so that will again become as a constant only. So here this equation will be P plus rho P square, or P square into rho P square, or P square into rho divided by 2 plus rho g z is equal to constant. So this is the Bernoulli's theorem. or Bernoulli's equation. Now here if I will apply this Bernoulli's equation at section 1 and section 2, then according to this equation, total energy at section 1 will be given by equation P1 plus rho 1 into P1 square, rho 1 into V1 square upon 2 plus rho 1 G1 Z1, rho 1 G1 Z1. This will be the total energy at section 1. Similarly, total energy at section 2 will be calculated by using the equation P2 plus rho 2 P2 square, rho 2 P2 square upon 2 plus rho 2 G2 Z2 plus rho 2 G2 and Z2. So here, if you see this term, rho 2 G2 Z2 and rho 1 G1 Z1, out of that, rho is nothing but the density of the air. Value of density of air will always remain same, though that will be at section 1, section 2, at any or at anywhere. Value of G will be also constant, that is nothing but 9.81. And here, if you see the vertical distance of section 1 and section 2 from reference line is also same, that is value of Z1 is equal to value of Z2. That's why as rho 1 Z1, rho 1 G1 Z1 is equal to rho 2 G2 Z2. That's why this term will get cancelled. That's why this term will get cancelled. Rho 1 G1 Z1 will get cancelled with the rho 2 G2 Z2. So here I will get that P1 plus rho 1 P1 square, rho 1 P1 square upon 2, rho 1 P1 square upon 2 is equal to P2 plus rho 2 P2 square upon 2, rho 2 P2 square upon 2. So here, as we are knowing that whenever air is passing through the duct, basically there will be two types of pressure which will be acting on that duct. Out of that, first one will be called as a static pressure and second one will be called as a dynamic pressure. So whatever static pressure will be there, that static pressure will act perpendicular to the direction of duct, and whatever dynamic pressure will be there, that dynamic pressure will act in the duct in the direction of velocity. So here in the equation rho 1 P1 square upon 2 or rho 2 P2 square upon 2, whatever this pressure value will be there, so this will be called as a dynamic pressure, and whatever P1 and P2 term will be there, that will be called as the static pressure. So here in this equation, whatever P1 and P2 term will be there, P1 and P2 term will be there, P1 and P2, that will be called as a static pressure at section 1 and static pressure at section 2. Static pressure at section 1 and static pressure at section 2. Whereas whatever another term will be there, that is nothing but density into velocity square divided by 2. So that will be called as a dynamic pressure at section 1 or section 2. So here we'll get new equation for PV. त्या ठिकाणी आपण काय म्हणतोय, what we are saying here. So after this equation, whatever we are getting the value, this value is nothing but, as we are knowing that inside the duct there will be only two types of pressure. First one will be called as the static pressure. So here P1 is nothing but static pressure at section 1 and rho 1 P1 square upon 2 is nothing but the dynamic pressure or velocity pressure. Dynamic pressure or velocity pressure at section 1. So PS1 plus PV1 is equal to P2 म्हणजे काय असणार आहे, PS2 असणार आहे. Static pressure at section 2. and rho2 v2 square upon 2. rho2 v2 square upon 2 म्हणजे काय असणार आहे? That is nothing but the velocity pressure or dynamic pressure at section 2. So here from this equation we are getting that we'll write here okay. So from this equation we are getting that the value for the dynamic pressure, and here dynamic pressure will be given by equation PV. PV will be called as a velocity pressure or dynamic pressure. That dynamic pressure will be given by equation. In general, formula of dynamic pressure is nothing but density into velocity square upon 2. Here density is nothing but density of air, rho A. त्या ठिकाणी डेन्सिटी कुठली घेतोय आपण? रो1 रो2 म्हणजे काय झाली? त्या ठिकाणची एअरची डेन्सिटी झाली. रो1 किंवा रो2 म्हणजे काय झाली? एअरची डेन्सिटी रो ए पी स्क्वेअर. पी म्हणजे काय? velocity at section 1 1 and velocity at section 2 2 divided by 2. So here by using this equation, that means we will get the value or we will get the equation for dynamic pressure or velocity pressure. That dynamic pressure or velocity pressure will be given by equation rho a p square upon 2, whereas rho a is nothing but here, whereas rho a is nothing but, what is the meaning of rho a? Rho a is nothing but density of air, and value of density of air is always constant, and that value of density of air is nothing but, what is the value of density of air? What is the value of density of air? That value of density of air is nothing but 1.2 kg per meter cube. Kg per meter cube. So here, if I will put that value of rho in this equation, I will get the value of PV. So here, velocity pressure or dynamic pressure will be given by equation rho A. Rho A is nothing but density. So density of air is nothing but 1.2 p square upon 2 p square upon 2. So 1.2 upon 2, that will become as a 0.6. That will become as a 0.6 p square. 0.6 p square. But whatever this value of PV will be there, that value of PV will be in terms of Newton per meter square. Value of PV will be in terms of Newton per meter square. But as we are knowing that pressure, that may be dynamic pressure, that may be static pressure. Pressure is always measured in terms of mm of water gauge. Pressure is always measured in terms of mm of water gauge. So here I need to convert that Newton per meter square or value of pressure, velocity pressure from Newton per meter square into mm of water gauge or mm of water. So for that purpose, we are knowing the correlation. So for conversion of Newton per meter square into mm of water, so 1 Newton per meter square, 1 Newton per meter square is nothing but equal to 1 upon 9.81. 1 upon 9.81, 1 upon 9.81 mm of water. Mm of water. Okay, so here I need to convert that value of PV or dynamic pressure from Newton per meter square into mm of water. So for that purpose, what I will do, I will put the value of PV in terms of mm of water. So PV will be equal to 0.6 p square. 0.6 p square. हे कशामध्ये होतं आपलं? This value is in terms of Newton per meter square. But for conversion of Newton per meter square into mm of water, divide this value by 9.81. Divide this value by 9.81. So whenever I am dividing that 0.6 by 9.81, here I will get the another value or another equation as a so here I will get that equation as a PV is equal to this value will be equal to P square upon 16.35. P square upon 16.35. If you calculate this value will be P square upon 16.35. This value of dynamic pressure will be in terms of mm of water. This value will be in terms of mm of water, and this value can be written as a P upon 4.04. P upon 4.04, 4.04 bracket square in terms of mm of water. In terms of mm of water. So here afterwards, whatever dynamic velocity, dynamic pressure will be there. So that dynamic pressure will be expressed. Formula for expression of dynamic pressure. So here afterwards, whatever derivation part we are going to see. So in that derivation part, whatever value of velocity pressure or dynamic pressure we are going to take. So we are going to always we are going to take the value for PV. Value for PV will be equal to rho A P square upon 2, rho A P square upon 2, which is equal to P upon 4.04. So for multiple choice question also, this value of PV will be as P upon 4.04 bracket square. That will be in terms of mm of water. Mm of water. So here afterwards, whatever derivation part we are going to see, in all those derivation parts, we have to take the value of velocity pressure or dynamic pressure, either rho A P square upon 2, either rho A P square upon 2, or we are going to take that value as a P upon 4.04 bracket square in terms of mm of water. So have you understood this derivation related to Bernoulli's theorem or Bernoulli's equation? Yes or no? So here afterwards, whatever value of dynamic pressure will be there, the formula for dynamic pressure will be equal to rho A P square upon 2, and that rho A P square upon 2 is nothing but equal to P upon 4.04 bracket square in terms of mm of water. How this value we have calculated? This is the derivation part. This is the derivation part. So here we have kept the value of rho A. Rho A is nothing but density of air as a 1.2 kg per meter cube. So by putting the value of rho A as a 1.2 kg per meter cube, here we will get the value of PV as a 0.6 P square. But this value will be in terms of Newton per meter square. As always, we are measuring the pressure in terms of mm of water. That's why we have to convert the Newton per meter square into mm of water. So for conversion of Newton per meter square into mm of water, 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 upon 9.81 mm of water. So put this value in this equation, 0.6 divided by 9.81 P square. This will be in terms of mm of water. So after calculating this, we will get that P square upon 16.35 can be simplified as a P upon 4.04 bracket square. So here PV is nothing but rho A P square upon 2, which is equal to P upon 4.04 bracket square mm of water. So for multiple choice question as well as for your GATE exam also, this conversion factor or this based on this formula, there will be the multiple choice question. Either they will ask the problem or they will ask the formula. Are you getting? Yes or no? Write in the chat box. Have you understood? Please write in the chat box so that I will come to know that whether you are getting the points or not getting the point. Have you understood? Everyone, please write in the chat box. Yes or no? If still you are having any query, any question, any problem, you are free to ask. Have you understood? Yes or no? If you are having any query, any problem, any question related to this derivation or related to this entire chapter or entire subject, you can ask me. Okay, we'll proceed further. So here, keep this derivation or keep this last square bracket, this bracketed equation in your mind, because we are going to take the help of this equation here afterwards while solving the derivation. So wherever rho a p square upon 2 term will be there. So instead of rho a p square upon 2, instead of rho a p square upon 2, we are going to take that value as the PV. That is nothing but dynamic pressure or velocity pressure. And that value of dynamic pressure or velocity pressure we are going to put as a P upon 4.04 bracket square or P square upon 16.35. And that value will be in terms of mm of water. Okay. Now, based on this, we'll calculate the pressure loss, or we'll calculate the formula for pressure loss due to friction in the duct. So that will be called as the frictional losses. So as like flow through the pipe, there also we have calculated the frictional losses which are occurring inside the pipe. So those frictional losses we have calculated by using the Darcy-Weisbach equation. In the similar manner, whenever air is passing through the duct, whenever air is passing through the duct, so here if I'm considering this as my duct, suppose that may be of any shape, suppose round shape of duct is there. Okay, suppose this is my duct, and through this duct, suppose air is, or conditioning air is passing. Through this duct, the conditioning air is passing. So whenever that conditioning air will be passing through this duct, so each and every layer of that conditioning air will have the different velocity. Why this will be there? Because whatever layer of air which is in contact with the surface of the duct, that layer of air will have the value of velocity equal to velocity of the surface of the duct, and that value of velocity of surface of duct is equal to 0. That means the layer which is in contact, or layer of air which is in contact with the duct or duct surface, will have the value of velocity as a 0, and that value of velocity will goes on increasing in this direction. That means whatever center point or whatever center of the duct will be there, that center of duct will have the higher value of air, or higher value of velocity, and the value of velocity will goes on decreasing in this direction, and the value of velocity will be 0 at this location. Similar fashion here, value of velocity will goes on decreasing, and value of velocity will be 0 at this location, and this will be the velocity profile. So here, from this, as we are knowing that while passing the air from one location to another location, from this point, as we are knowing that while passing the air from one location to the another location, the inside the air always there will be the frictional losses. And here, if I want to calculate those frictional losses which are occurring because of the friction, here if I want to calculate the frictional losses which are occurring because of the friction, then those frictional losses will be calculated by using the Darcy formula, that is also called as the Fanning equation. That pressure losses due to friction in the duct will be calculated. Pressure losses due to friction in the duct will be calculated by using the Darcy formula, or by using the Fanning equation, or by using the Fanning equation. So according to Darcy formula or Fanning equation, the formula is nothing but PF is equal to FL rho A P square upon twice M, whereas PF is nothing but loss of pressure because of friction. PF is called as the loss of pressure because of friction. Here F is called as the coefficient of friction. F is called as the coefficient of friction, or that is also called as a friction factor. That is also called as a friction factor, and that is the dimensionless quantity. L is nothing but the length of the duct. Whatever length of the duct will be there, that is nothing but L. Rho A is nothing but the density of the air. Rho A is nothing but density of air passing through the duct. P square is nothing but the velocity of the air. P square is nothing but the velocity of the air passing through the duct divided by twice M. Here M is called as the hydraulic mean depth diameter. M is called as a hydraulic mean depth diameter, or that is also called as a hydraulic radius. That is also called as a hydraulic radius. And that hydraulic mean depth diameter or hydraulic radius will be given by equation m is equal to area divided by perimeter. So whatever may be the shape of duct. So if I'm going to take the cross sectional area of that duct divided by weighted perimeter of that duct. If I'm going to take cross sectional area of that duct divided by weighted perimeter of that duct, I will get the value of m, that is called as the hydraulic mean depth diameter. Okay. Here Pf, loss of pressure due to friction, that value of Pf will be in terms of Newton per meter square. F is called as the coefficient of friction, that is also called as the frictional factor, that will depend upon the surface of the duct, and that is the dimensionless quantity. L is nothing but length of duct, that will be in terms of meter. P is nothing but velocity or mean velocity of the air flowing through the duct, and that value of velocity will be in terms of meter per second. Okay. So here in this formula, if I will rearrange the equation, so Pf is equal to Fl rho A P square upon twice F. This was the formula. What was the formula? Pf is equal to Fl rho A P square upon twice F. So here, if I will rearrange the formula, how I am going to rearrange this formula? If I am going to take rho A P square upon 2 as a separate. So I will get the equation as a Pf is equal to, I will get the equation as a Pf is equal to Fl upon M into rho A P square upon 2. Now this rho A P square upon 2, rho A P square upon 2, that will be called as a PV, rho A P square upon 2. So here we have derived the Bernoulli's theorem. So instead of rho A P square upon 2, whether my voice is proper? Yes or no? Can anyone write in the comment box? Whether am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So here, instead of rho A P square upon 2, I will write as a PV. That PV is nothing but the dynamic pressure or velocity pressure. So here I will get the equation for Pf. Pf is equal to Fl upon M into PV, and that value of PV will be in terms of mm of water. So here Fl and M, that will get cancelled. So here whatever value of pressure loss because of friction will be there, that will be in terms of wait for 1 minute. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. No.
Hello? Okay. Hello? Am I audible now? Can anyone reply? आवाज येतोय का माझा आता? I think I have lost my connection because of the same. There was problem. आवाज येतोय सगळ्यांना? कोणतरी सांगा, अनम्यूट व्हा आणि सांगा.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, as m is equal to area divided by perimeter. So area will be always mentioned in terms of meter square, and perimeter will be mentioned in terms of meter. So meter square and meter will get cancelled. So m will be always in terms of meter. So here this meter and this meter will get cancelled. So whatever this APL upon m will be there, whatever this APL upon m will be there, that term will be the dimensionless term. That term will become as a dimensionless term. So whatever dimensions of PV will be there, same dimension will be applicable for the dimension of loss of pressure because of friction. Are you getting? So here loss of pressure because of friction will be always taken in terms of mm of water. So here as we are knowing that PV is nothing but dynamic pressure loss, or sorry, dynamic pressure. So that dynamic pressure is given by equation rho A P square upon 2, which is equal to P upon 4.04 bracket square in terms of mm of water. So here, if I will put the value of PV, as a P upon 4.04, which we have derived in the previous derivation, value of PV, which is equal to rho A P square upon 2, which is equal to P upon 4.04 bracket square. So if we put this value of PV in this equation, I will get the loss of pressure because of friction. Equation for loss of pressure because of friction, and that equation will be equal to FL upon M, into P upon 4.04 bracket square, and that value will be in terms of mm of water. That value will be in terms of mm of water. Okay. Now here, as per the cross-section area of the duct, the value of m is going to change. As per the cross-section area of the duct, value of m will goes on changing. So if we are having the circular duct, then for circular duct, m will be equal to area divided by perimeter. So here, if I'm going to consider this as a circular duct, which is having the mean diameter as a d, so this as a duct, circular duct. So here, area of circular duct will be given by equation pi by 4 d square. And perimeter of circular duct will be pi into d. So here, this pi and this pi will get cancelled. This d and this d will get cancelled. So here, I will get the value for m. As a d by 4. Value for m will be d by 4. So for circular duct, if I want to calculate the loss of pressure because of friction, for circular duct, for your GATE exam, this question may be asked. That means they will provide the numerical, and by using such equations, they will ask you to calculate the value of loss of pressure because of friction. So in that problem, if they will provide the duct shape as a circular duct shape, then instead of m, we have to put the value as a d by 4. And instead of circular duct, if we are having the rectangular duct, likewise. So if we will have the rectangular duct, then for rectangular duct, if I am going to consider this as a A side, this as a B side, and this as the length of duct, then here value of m will be calculated by using the formula m is equal to area divided by perimeter. So here area of this rectangular duct area will be equal to shorter side into longer side, that is nothing but a into b divided by perimeter will be equal to twice a plus b, twice a plus b. So here in this formula of pm, if I'm going to put the value of pm as a into b divided by twice a plus b, then this will be the formula for calculation of loss of pressure because of friction in the rectangular duct. And if I'm going to put the value of pm as a d by 4, then this will be the formula for calculation of loss of pressure because of friction in the circular pipe or in the circular duct. Are you getting? So this was the derivation. For calculation of loss of pressure because of friction. This was the derivation for calculation of loss of pressure because of friction. Now next point, as next one is the derivation related to equivalent diameter of circular duct from the rectangular duct. So this is also a derivation part. So for completion of this derivation part, this time now time is 10:53. So it is not possible to cover. Wait for 1 minute. Okay. So same thing here it is mentioned. That means if circular duct will be there, then value of m will be equal to d by 4. So by putting that value of m is equal to d by 4, that equation will become as a loss of pressure because of friction in the circular duct. And if I'm going to put the value of m, as a into b divided by twice a into b, so this will be the hydraulic mean depth for rectangular duct. So if I'm going to put this value of m in the previous equation, so that will be the equation for calculation of loss of pressure because of friction in the rectangular duct. So as next point is the derivation part related to equivalent diameter of a circular duct for a rectangular duct. So as it is not possible to cover that derivation part within 5 minutes, so we are going to stop our lecture here only. So whatever this derivation part will be there, this derivation part we are going to take in the next lecture. So as we are having 5 minutes, so I'll take the attendance, and after taking the attendance, you can do the lecture and you can attend the next lecture. So today's date 6th of January. So I will take the attendance, right? So roll number 1 absent, 2 present, 3, 4 absent, 5 present, 6, 7 absent, 8 present, 9 absent, then 10 to 14 absent, 15 present, 16 present, 17 present, 18 present, 19 absent, then 20 present, 21 absent, 22 present, then 23, 24 absent, 25 present, 26 absent, 27 present, then 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 absent, 34 present, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 absent, 42 present, 43 present, 44 present, 45 present, 46 absent, 47 present, then 48, 48 present, 49 absent, 50 present, then 51, 52, 53, 54 absent, 55 present, 56 absent, 57 present, 58 present, 59 absent, roll number 60 absent, 61, sorry, 59 absent, roll number 60 present, 61 present, 62 present, 63 present, 64 present, 65 present, roll number 66 absent, 67 present, 68 absent, 69 present, 70 absent, 71 present, 72 present, 68 is also present. Okay. 73, 74, 75, 76. These are the absent number. Okay. I think I have taken the attendance of all the students. So we'll end our lecture here. So thank you for attending the lecture.